Hey everyone, Carolina Venom here. Today I am doing a update on the LG Volt from Virgin Mobile. I'll keep this update as short as possible, but you know how I get when I get to talking. So I'll make it as short as I can, but we will see how it goes. I have been using this phone pretty heavy since I've got it. Making a lot of phone calls, making a whole lot of, using a lot of data and using a whole lot of the web and apps, and just really been putting this phone through it with the camera, camcorder, and just really been testing this phone out. And so far I'm very impressed with this phone, even though I have found a few small issues with this phone. It's definitely not nothing that's a deal breaker by no means. It's still an excellent phone without really many issues, but I will get into the issues here in just a few minutes. Like I say, the phone's powered on. The phone does work very smooth. A couple of apps I'm going to go ahead right now and recommend because they do kind of help you out a little bit, and one of them is called the Cling Master. And the Cling Master and Battery Doctor, they do very well, because I will click on it here and it will actually show you your storage. It'll show you your RAM. You can push junk files here, and it will sit there and it will show you all the junk files on your phone. And as you can tell here, there's quite a bit of junk on the phone that can be cleared off. You know, the cache, I guess that's how you say it. One thing you don't want to do though, whatever, is if you've got a memory card in your phone, you do not want to do advanced cleaning, because it will clean out your memory card, and that will make you very mad unless you want your memory card cleared off. But if you don't, that's not on by default, and you can just clean it, take it all away, and it lowers your RAM. And the storage is still on the memory card, but you know, the RAM has dropped from like almost 80% to 48%. So you know, also you got antivirus, which will scan all your apps and everything. And my phone is all safe, which this is a really nice thing to have as well as the Battery Doctor is also a really nice app to have as well. You can go in here and save power. It'll diagnose everything, which it says is draining fast. Click on it. I got one running app, Bluetooth, screen timeout. If I was to go ahead and push it here to only 1 minute and push save, it'll clear everything out and give me an extra hour of, you know, everything. So really kind of cool, you know, to have these apps, and they really work well. Really no issues with them whatsoever. So that's an app that I really recommend for this phone and everything. So you know, really good phone. I mean, it really works well. I do like the Voicemate, and I do like the quick remote. You just click on this here. You can find your remote. You know, especially if it's smart, you can just volume up, volume down, channel, power button. All that stuff is really nice to have. It's pretty cool to have as well. Voicemate's neat to have. And I got a bunch of downloaded apps and stuff like that. There is a couple of times though, like if you're on the web and you're browsing pretty heavily and stuff like that, like if you get on the web and you are on, like here's my YouTube with all my videos and stuff on it. There's times if you're on here for a while and you push home, like right now it's working perfectly, but there's times the whole screen will be blank, and about 3 or 4 seconds later it'll be back on. So there is some times that it does have a hard time keeping up, and I will actually get into a few more things here in just a few minutes, because I need more than one hand to show you what I want to be doing. So stay tuned, because I'm fixing to change cameras. Okay, so I'm back now. I have my little mini tripod with my other camcorder set up on this here, so I can actually see myself, and I can see what I'm doing. And I have the LG Volt right here. And reason why I'm doing it like this is because there's things that I need to show with the phone that I need both hands instead of using just one hand, you know, using the Panasonic Lumix, which is this here is the Panasonic as well, so should be about the same. Anyway, that's off topic. One thing I wanted to show you about the LG Volt is when you pull the back battery cover off, you see the micro SD card slot is right here. Well, if you look at it, you know, there's no locking mechanism to keep it locked in place. It just, you know, you put the card up in there and it slides up in there into place. Well, about 3 or 4 times now I've had it where it will eject itself. It will sit there and say card has been unmounted. So I'm figuring maybe a little bit of vibration, a little bit of a hit maybe will jar it and make it to where it will not be connected. And if you ain't careful, it can damage your files by unmounting it like that without unmounting it manually in the settings. So one thing to watch out for is the fact of the micro SD card and SD card slot. It just slides up in there. I don't like that. I prefer something to keep it in place. So that's one thing right there worth mentioning, because mine's done it several times. And if you got any apps on your SD card, you know, once you look at your phone and all your apps are gone, and you know that your SD card has been unmounted. And I really like the 3000 milliamp hour battery. I know people have said that their battery is no good, don't last no time at all. If I was to fully charge up my phone and about 7:30 or 8 in the morning, you know, this is a 3000 milliamp hour battery like I said, and if I was to fully charge it and take it off about 7:30 or 8 in the morning, I can actually, you know, use this phone talking, texting, talk about maybe 2 hours a day, maybe 2.5 hours, depending on the day, sending, you know, a few texts, you know, replying to YouTube comments from my cell phone, looking at YouTube comments, watching YouTube videos, all that stuff, text messaging, you know, instant messaging, messenger on Facebook, getting on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff, using it pretty heavy, pretty hard, and it being on, you know, having the Bluetooth on the whole day, Wi-Fi on the whole day, brightness at 57%, and usually by around 2 or 3 in the morning, I'm around, you know, 15 to 20% battery life. So I gotta say, it's pretty good. If you're not getting good battery life on this phone here, you probably got a bad battery, or you got a bad app that is chewing your battery up. I do know there are apps out there that will chew your battery to pieces, because I've had them before. So just giving you kind of warning. So we're going to go ahead right now. We're going to go ahead and power the phone back on since I removed the battery. And I do like the bottom light down here. You can actually make it brighter or less bright. Right now I got it set to full brightness. And the cool thing about this light down here is the fact that if you have contacts, like text messaging contacts or whatever, you can actually change this light here from one contact to light up blue, to one light up red, you know, one light up, you know, just whatever colors that are available, green, you know, stuff like that. And that's really cool as well, and I do like that. And it is a pretty loud phone because the speaker is on the bottom of the phone, so when you lay the phone down flat, you know, you ain't gonna worry about hearing muffling, which is really nice. You know, there's no muffle to the speaker quality. It's really loud, really good output. Vibration is kind of weak, like most LG phones are. Most LG phones do not have the greatest in that field and everything. But this phone, like I said, is very smooth. It does work very well. There is a few times though that it will lag, and like I say, I pretty much blame that on the RAM. Only 1 GB of RAM. If it had 1.5 to 2 gigs of RAM, I think it would be a very nice multitasking smooth phone. But with 1 GB of RAM, if you're doing more than one thing at a time, it does seem to slow it down quite a bit. I really don't blame the processor being a 1.2 GHz quad core, because it does have some pretty good tests when I run benchmark test on it. So I really don't blame that too much. but I do think that it does have a lot to do with the 1 gigabyte of RAM. And I'll tell you why. Because the other day I was on here and I was on Facebook Messenger and I was messaging a couple of people and going back and forth, but after about 15-20 minutes of doing that, it started to really slow down. I mean, creepy crawl. I mean, it wouldn't do nothing. I would push home. It would take it like 5 seconds to go back home. I could push Facebook Messenger, five, maybe even 10 seconds to go back to Facebook Messenger. And when I was typing on the keyboard and I was trying to type, it would not keep up. It would just lag and hang. And when I would go to push send, it just took forever to send anything. And so there is times if you multitask with this phone, it will lag up a lot. But for the most part, playing games, if you got everything on the phone cleared off, you know, it does play games very smoothly. And it has really no issues whatsoever other than that. Call quality is not as great as I said it was at the beginning. It is good, but it's not great. I have noticed a little bit of kind of a squeal noise in the background, like kind of a high-pitched noise, and it's not quite as clear as I like it to be, but it is clear enough, and it's not bad. It's not excellent, but I'd say it's good to very good call quality. Camera on the back of this thing, after messing with the camera a little bit, the 8 megapixel camera on the rear does take pretty clear pictures, but you got to be very still, and you got to be very, good, with holding the phone still to get very clear pictures. Now, as far as the video camera goes, it records at 720 and full 1080. Sometimes full 1080 is not quite as clear as 720. It says it records at 30 frames per second in 1080. But I would say more like 25 frames per second. I wouldn't say a full 30 frames because I have noticed some difference in 720 and 1080. When I recorded the other day in 720, it was crystal clear. I actually played the video back on a big screen LED TV, and I mean the video quality was phenomenal. I mean on a big screen TV. There was no pixelation, there was no blurriness, there was no jerkiness, it was smooth. Audio quality was very clean, very clear and sharp, better than most camcorders that I've seen. I was very surprised whenever I seen how good the video quality was. And I'm going to be doing some video quality tests on this phone here, and I'm hoping that YouTube does it justice, and always be sure to watch it in HD. To get the full effect, because it does do really well. And when 1080 gets clear, it's also good as well. Just ain't quite as smooth of a frame rate, but it does do pretty well. A couple more things I want to show you here before I let you go is screenshots. A lot of people want to know about screenshots. Well, pretty simple. Most phones are about the same unless you got a Samsung. The power button's on this side here. Here is your volume down button over here. All you do is hold both of them down at the same time for like 2 seconds, and it will screenshot. Very simple. Another thing, we will go over here to a clean page. There's nothing on here whatsoever. The volume buttons up and down here, you can push these at the same time, and it will bring up a little drawer thing where you can draw on the screen and have all kinds of fun on it if you like to draw. Or you can go on here and clear everything out. Got some mail, probably from YouTube. And you can just draw whatever you want to draw, which is really nice as well. Then up here at the top button up there is your save button, or you can share it, or whatever you want to do. So pretty neat little thing there that LG added to their phone. And I'm anxious to see. Yep, it was a YouTube comment, so I will be able to reply to that here soon, and everything. So I'm always enjoying getting these comments and being able to talk to y'all, having these conversations with y'all, and being able to answer y'all's questions. I really enjoy it, and I really appreciate my subscribers. and the questions and comments that I do get. I do apologize for this little update being so long, but I wanted to kind of go through a lot of the features with it. This is still a fantastic phone. $150 off contract with Virgin Mobile. I hate to be leaving Virgin Mobile this month because I like this phone and the service, but I will be going to AT&T Go Phone Service with the ZTE Z998 Mustang, and I will be doing some 4G LTE tests as well as some ordinary 4G tests, because there's, you know, with AT&T you have 4G and LTE, so, you know, everything, which I'll get into that later on. But, you know, I can't remember if I mentioned this or not. One more thing before I get off of here is the plans on, you know, the Virgin Mobile phones. You know, with smartphones, you know, all the plans come with unlimited unlimited text, picture, and unlimited data up to 2.5 gigs, and then you're throttled down to slower speeds. But the good part is it's still unlimited, unlike AT&T or Verizon, stuff like that. $35 a month, you get 300 minutes. $45 a month, 1,200 minutes, and $55 a month is unlimited everything. And like I say, you do get throttled at 2.5 gigs, but you still have unlimited data, which is a major plus. And that's kind of why I hate leaving. But AT&T in my immediate area has LTE. Virgin Mobile, I can barely get on 3G, so, you know, it's kind of pointless in my area to have LTE or have a phone that don't even get LTE yet. So I'm waiting for that to happen and everything, but still an awesome phone. Highly recommend it. $150 off contract with Virgin Mobile. Just a few cons, no big deal, not a deal breaker. Excellent phone, works excellent, works great. So anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. Got any questions or comments, please feel free to ask me. Subscribe to my channel, I really would appreciate it. I'm out of here. Y'all have a good one, and we'll talk at you later.